welcome back to Love Bug Tarot. Welcome in all of my tarot goblins. So, today, if you celebrate, is Christmas Day, the 25th of December, but this is also a timeless read, so we're just going to be looking at messages coming in, what you need to know. I'm going to be trying to focus on, like, messages of hope and joy, and so even if you don't observe Christmas, still just kind of a time of light and love. And so if you find this in the future, just a time of light and joy and hope as well. So we do have timestamps in the description below, so we are going to get a bunch of oracle cards, and then we also have a tarot deck for any clarifications we might need. Something in there. Okay. So this is just, shuffling. So regardless if you celebrate or if this is in the future and it is not anywhere near the winter months, I hope you are doing well. I hope it is a time of joy and okay. All right, those are 3. We'll take those 3. Oh my god. I hope it is a time of joy and peace and just good stuff overall. I think we need more of that. All right. Itchy. All right. And the jingles in the background are absolutely my cat. She's been a menace today. We were doing reads earlier because I try to record these like a week out or so. And she definitely jumped up on my little side table here where my decks sit when they're not in use, and stepped on a deck or two, and they all went flying. They went everywhere. But she is the baby still. I don't think she's quite figured out how this works, even though she has like a designated little bed. She's an area. It's like, nope. Actually, yeah, we're gonna wait on that. Okay. So, let's see. Ooh. We have the bay leaf. There we go. The bay leaf with wisdom. And the symbol for fire, as well as a Leo sign. Pull that down a little bit. There we go. Okay. Ooh. Rainbow. The most difficult part of a situation is over. It's freaking lovely. Cup. You should accept valid criticism. Okay, fair. Younger man. Or I would say a younger masculine person. Dealings or relationship with a younger masculine person. Are we in frame? Yeah. Wait, these are 2. Okay, yeah, that all fit. Well, family wishes coming true. Ooh, okay. And unicorn. Ooh, use your intuition to make beneficial change. Okay. Interesting, we have the well here with family wishes. And this, a family can also be just like with, like it says a younger man. This could be a younger masculine person. Whether that's an age or spirit. And family can be, yes, it can be like your blood family. This can also be your chosen family. Your soul family, like the people around you. Ooh, okay. So we have the pathless. Difficult decisions and lack of direction. Interesting that, I'm going to put that with the unicorn. Use your intuition to make beneficial changes. And with wisdom as well. Accepting valid criticism, like, Okay, let's get some more information. Sadhana. There's always enough. Okay, and then we have number 39. Welcome presents. I have a feeling that this message is coming through as like a reassurance that the path that you're on, the decisions that you're making, you have the wisdom to move them forward. And this could very much, we'll get some tarot cards here, but this could very much deal with a person or a group of people around you that are very, I would say, very close to you. Not like, maybe you are some close to some people at work, but like, I would say like a work acquaintance. It's like, yes, that's a person in your orbit, but these are people who you have a very strong and intimate relationship with. Whether that is familial or platonic or romantic, but it's still a strong bond. I see this, and I know it says there's always enough, but the message, the phrase that kind of came through right now is like, you're enough as well. So there could be kind of a double meaning with this is there's always enough. So if you're in right now, you're in a period of difficulty, let's say with your physical resources around you, I feel like this is definitely a message of saying there's always going to be enough. You're going to be able, you're going to be okay. You're going to make it. So I feel like this is a very hopeful message. It's interesting, wisdom and the cup came up because it's wisdom, and it says you should always, or it says you should accept valid criticism. I feel like you're someone who you can make, you understand the difference between someone criticizing and someone offering like constructive criticism. You know, I've just had a weird flashback to, I went to art school. So, you know, if everybody was doing, we were in like inking class and everybody got the same picture to do inking. We were practicing traditional inking techniques. You could do brushes and crow quill. You could use any tools, but you had to ink them. And, you know, so it was interesting to put up, you know, let's say there's 20 people in the class. You put up 20 of the same picture, but they were all very different and distinct depending on people's inking styles. And it was interesting to sometimes get feedback, because that feedback, like the people who were really helpful versus the people who were just like, I don't like it. Well, it's like, well, why? Like, why is it not, why are you not vibing with it? I don't know. I just don't like it. Like, that's not helpful. That's not telling the person anything. It was like, you know, the spot black on this side is like super heavy. So like, you know, my eye is immediately going to there, or, you know, this part looks super busy. Like you may need a containment line. I'm using, if anybody's ever, I was in comics, so using a lot of terminology. Anyways, those were always helpful because it was a critique with the idea of like constructive. There was a constructive, you know, message behind it. It wasn't just, I don't like this. And I feel like you know the difference, because oftentimes we get, in the digital age that we are in, we certainly get a lot of feedback, especially when you put stuff out there. Then it's kind of hard not to have some kind of digital footprint these days. It's so easy to get feedback. But I feel like you have the wisdom to know when it's valid, when it's constructive, versus people just not peopling very well that day. Yeah. I want to read the book on this one. This is the Dream Song Oracle, and so this one is 39, and it says, welcome presence. Okay. The garden of consciousness is ever flourishing, ever changing. Your quest right now is to soothe the thoughts that churn up the soil, to intentionally calm the frantic buzzing of anxiety and concern. Okay, yeah, we were having that message, especially like the choices that you're making right now, and like you're going to be okay, and especially with this pathless card right next to it. Lack of direction, difficult decisions, like You might be feeling very overwhelmed, and I feel like, especially with the rainbow, I love getting the rainbow. The most difficult part of a situation is over. Anyways, all right. It says, create intentional solitude. Let the stillness at your core rise to meet the circumstances of your situation. Court the stillness so that, in your clarity, the next right thing for you, the next right thing for your life can take root and bloom. This is not a time for effort. It is a time for ease, for relief, for deep internal intentional calm. As Lao Tzu said, do you have the patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself? The master doesn't seek fulfillment, not seeking, not expecting. She is present and can welcome all things. Okay. So if there is a situation right now where internally, like in your head, you just see all these like faces. It's a very surreal oracle deck. But it's just calming that noise, that constant, or maybe it's even your valid criticism. It could be your inner critic. There could be we all have that raging inner critic. We all have that little voice. Sometimes it's a big voice. I feel like you are gaining the wisdom to be able to quiet it down, to find the stillness. And this could be an inner critic or an external one. I want to get a card for the young masculine figure. What is this about? Ooh, 10 of coins. Okay. This is a Last Unicorn deck. It's a very pretty deck. I get the sense that this younger masculine person is someone in your physical realm, because we do have the 10 of coins. This could be a situation about your physical resources with the 10 of coins here. And there's always enough. So there could be either someone criticizing your resources, maybe lack thereof in their opinion. Let's see. The Tower. Okay. I'm not exactly sure how this person is involved. But this younger energy as well, we have the Tower here. And they could just be someone acting immaturely. This could be someone, I don't want to say coming at you, but maybe they are. I don't know why. We are not responsible for other people's actions. But they may not understand what you've all been through. With the Tower, I feel like you are building yourself back up after a pretty deep, I would say deep situation. Again, because this is a general read, so everybody's external reality is going to be different. It's going to be very much like no one else can live in your reality, just you, even though we're all connected. But you went through something big. There was a huge shakeup in your life, because the Tower is about reconstructing and tearing down like old foundations that don't work anymore. You can see that the castle was built on a very precarious glyph. It's like it wasn't meant to stand. It couldn't stand. It could not stand for long, or the tests. I would say the test of time. That phrase is coming up. And there could be some criticism from this person. And they could be coming from, again, a masculine energy, not necessarily a gender. So that energy of like, if you look at it from the tarot, like kings and queens, they're not genders, they're energies. Queens are very much more an internal energy, a receptive energy. Kings are very external. They're very action oriented. So this could be someone being like, well, why don't you do this? And why don't you do that? Why don't you do this? And, well, I did this and it worked for me. Like that, whoo boy, that conversation. And that's not necessarily, like, maybe they're coming from a point where they didn't have to start over. They didn't have to go back to square one and build themselves up. And that could be, again, this valid criticism. Like maybe there's some little piece of wisdom in what they're talking about in there. I'm just, something that popped in my head was like an investment strategy. As an example, I'm not saying you should go out and invest in anything, but just as an example, you're talking to this person and it comes up and it's like, oh, okay, that part of the conversation was useful. It doesn't mean you have to acknowledge or accept any other part of it. This, like, again, going into stillness, and it's, let's see, 5 of Swords. Yeah, this going into stillness and realizing that what other people present is not always the truth. It can be a part of the truth. Again, I'm going back to like social media. With things you see on social media are often very curated experiences. It can look all beautiful and perfect and everything, but you don't see the whole picture. Frequently, we don't even see a fraction of the picture. You know, we're being sold an experience and not necessarily the truth. And that could be something that this person just sees the external. They see your 10 of coins. They see like, wow, you've done really good for yourself. You've done all of this. And they don't see how much you've worked up, how much you've had to rebuild yourself. Ooh, all right, we have the 8 of Wands, the 9 of Cups. Even if you are feeling, the phrase wishy-washy is coming in. I don't know where that came from. But, like, you're feeling, again, the pathless, feeling like a lack of direction. Like you even if you are currently on a path and you're like, I know I want to do this, and it's just not, maybe things aren't moving forward or maybe moving in the way you want them to. I feel like that is changing. And there may be some doubt, like if you are having doubts about the path that you're on, again, this could be a call to be still and kind of block out the external noise, you know, that we were talking about over here. The family wishes coming true with the well is I wonder if part of this doubt and this inner critic, this inner noise is from familial ties, you know, of what maybe expectations even. Page of Wands. Ooh. There's something coming in, and it is going to come in pretty fast. With the 8 of Wands, the 9 of Cups, and the Page of Wands. This is something like the 9 of Cups is about, it's a wish fulfillment. It's, yeah, it's literally like, what's the phrase? Like, having your cake and eating it too. I think that's how it goes. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the idea of like, you can have it all. Like the things that you want and you have worked for and wished for are coming in, and they're coming in at speed. With the Page of Wands, this is something like, like it's one of, how do I phrase this? I think the best way I can say it is like beginner's mindset. And again, with the welcome presence, it's like quieting your mind and kind of going back to that when you were just starting out on this path. You were just like, you just found, you're like, that's what I want to do. That's where I want to go. That's, you know, whatever the situation is. And kind of like rekindling part of that passion. And I love that you got the unicorn. It says use your intuition to make beneficial changes. Honestly, I feel like you're very self-aware of this. And that is an incredible thing to have, especially with wisdom here. Because the biggest part about making changes is starting with your mindset, starting internally, and then that helps reflect back on your physical reality. And the biggest step, honestly, is being self-aware enough. Again, we were talking about that inner critic, just knowing the inner critic voice and being able to be like, kind of shush it to the side, whether it's an inner critic or an external critic, like knowing how to handle it, seeing it for what it is. So these are like some pretty big change. Yeah, Knight of Wands, a lot of wands, a lot of fire. Again, with the fire here, we have Leo, which is a fire sign. We have wands. A lot of wands. Okay, so something you're very passionate in with the Page of Wands and the Knight of Wands. So you are building up, because the page is the Knight comes after the Page. It's Page, Knight, Queen, and King. Like that's kind of the order they go in. There is something building up. Temperance. Again, temperance with the welcome presence, this message of being still. The message of taking a moment to like, I almost want to say like do something You're peeling potatoes here in this shot. And this is a prince in the story, if you've ever seen The Last Unicorn. It's the prince, and he's peeling potatoes for dinner. Like, just, again, that message of, like, being still, letting it come to you, like, not overthinking it, again, with the mental noise. Like, don't overthink it. Don't, let it kind of, this moments of stillness. So that could be justice. Again, we're getting the prince, like all in a row here. There are other characters in this deck. Like this is interesting that this is coming out with justice too. Temperance and justice as well, like rebalancing. There's definitely a message here of like rebalance, getting still, which I know easier said than done. And the King of Cups. Again, the prince character. You're definitely getting this prince character. I wonder, okay, so there's a little something else I think in here. For some of you, there could be this dealing with this younger person, this masculine person. We'll ask in a moment. I'm going to put this here. Because the King of Cups is also a very romantic. This could maybe, we're looking at like a partnership. And that could be also where this criticism has been coming in, whether it's externally, internally, or both. And if you're looking at this with like a lens of a relationship or partnerships, especially if you're feeling a lack of direction, the pathless, and wisdom too, the most difficult part of a situation. So there could also be, for some of you, someone coming in, or if you're already with someone, it's like really establishing that relationship despite what other people are saying. And we also have the World, which I love. It's the caterpillar. Again, if you have not seen The Last Unicorn, please go watch it. It's an absolute gem. I love that movie. I thought it was a fever dream for the longest time. And I was like, oh my god, it's an actual thing. But we have the World. There is a new cycle coming in. Again, the rainbow. The most difficult part of a situation is over. There is something starting anew. I really feel right now the message is like, hang in there. I really feel there's a beautiful message of hope in here. You have gone so far and you have been so strong in what you have internally and externally been through. There's been some really big upheavals in your life. And despite those, you have still come out the wiser for it. Not you still have come out, but you came out the wiser for it in this, in your journey, you know, this journey we call life. I think right now there's just this beautiful message of like hope and stillness and just being in the moment, because there are things coming towards you. There are some really beautiful things coming towards you. And are we allowed to get a peek? Or what, are we allowed to see a hint? Something? What are we? Oop, these two are stuck together. Okay, the High Priestess and the Eight of Swords. Alright, so the High Priestess is kind of the metaphorical magic 8-ball. It's like, try again later. So I don't think this is something that we are supposed to necessarily not be aware of, but know the details about. This is a message of focus on yourself. Eight of Swords. Focus on those inner voices and working with your inner critic or your external critics. You know, focus on you. I really feel like they're saying focus on you. Don't, even if, again, the Five of Swords with this like, oh, but it, you know, but look what they have. Look what, you know, look what I've seen on Instagram and this person's story and it's so perfect and wonderful. It's like, that's, no, focus on you. The Chariot. Ooh, Chariot and the Eight of Wands. Again, there's a lot of the Prince in here. And this is, you know, this is a deck that has so many other characters in it. There's so many other characters in here. It's very interesting that the Prince is coming out. And we had the Page, and we had also this younger masculine energy too. And the Chariot with the right below the Eight of Wands as well. Like this is something I feel like is not only coming in fast, but like there's a momentum that is going to be moving you forward. And where once you were feeling a lack of direction, you will very solidly know. Ooh, and it just dawned on me. I'm using the last unicorn deck, and we do have the unicorn. So you get this sense of like, I don't want to say like a 1 in a million chance, but just, I don't know. Let's see. Death and the Hierophant. Okay, so we have two majors. Wow, okay. Again, we have View of the World and Death. And Death is about like transformation. This is something that is very transformative. The idea that like something has to end for something to begin. The Tower, something had to break down for something else to build. With the and especially with the Ten of Coins, something had to break down in order for something much more lasting and sturdy to be built. We also have the Hierophant as well. You have the key. You have the keys to this. Again, I don't feel like we're supposed to know the specifics. But again, there's always enough, and it's just, you have the keys to this, and it could be right now. There's just a lot of noise happening, whether it's internally, externally, both. And so there's a message here of take some time out. And I don't mean that in like take a time out, kind of, or putting someone in time out. Maybe put your like inner critic, I call them brain goblins, like put them in time out. Give them a fruit snack and tell them to be like, shush, go in the corner. But this could be like this message of like hope and hang in there. Things are going to change. Things are going to shift. You aren't necessarily going to see it coming. And I don't feel that it's like something is being withheld from you. it's more of like, you'd overthink it if you knew. And I giggle, I laugh, not at you, I'm laughing at myself, because like I am the worst at overthinking things and like analyzing it within an inch of its life. Like it is something I'm working on, and so it's like I understand where this message is coming from. They're saying like there's this message of like hope and hang in there, and confirmation also of like how far you've come. And now is the time I really feel like they're saying get still. Get still, and whatever that looks like for you. Being still is some people to be physically still. Some people do like moving meditations. Some people will, do something creative, craft, draw, build something. Like some people, whatever it looks like to kind of quiet your mind, kind of bring yourself into that stillness. That is definitely coming in, because wow, okay, you have the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands at the end. The Four of Wands it's a party card. It's the card of celebrations, of weddings, of getting together with like your people and just having a good old time. So yeah, this is the Four of Wands. There is reason to celebrate. And yeah, there's just this really beautiful message of hope. So that, I feel, is your message this day. And a very Merry Christmas to those who celebrate and observe. And also just a happy holidays. Even if you don't have any holidays happening around this time, I just hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. I hope your people are doing well. Hope your fuzzy people are doing well. For those of you who have like fuzzy babies, scaly babies, crawly babies, whatever shape they take form. I hope y'all are doing well. Because we could certainly, at least when this video goes up, could certainly use a lot more just lifting each other up. Absolutely. All right. It's a little housekeeping. Please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'll leave a comment as well. You don't have to tell me if you're not comfortable telling me what's going on, or you could just be, what you're looking forward to, even if things are feeling very overwhelming right now. Like, pick out something that, like an affirmation or a goal. It doesn't have to be a New Year's resolution. It could be something small. But yeah, put that in the comments. I'm curious. Okay, so we did the like, subscribe thing. Oh, we also have a membership with Buy Me a Coffee with behind the scenes content. We post there 3 times a week, so you can support me there as well. All right. So until next time, make sure to take care of yourself. Get still. Quiet the mind. Take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. You got this. You are a very wise person. So take care of yourself. Be safe. And until next time, I love you. Okay? Bye-bye.